All right, guys, what's going on? Hopefully, everyone is doing well. It is Thursday, March 12th, 9 a.m. here in Sydney, Australia. We're only a few days away from, what we do best: prediction, analysis, and win on these weekly boxing cards. So today we're going to go over. I woke up a few hours ago with my betting app opening up a lot more odds for a lot more fights on the Pro Box card on all the cards. So we're gonna get into it. If you guys are for all the JSB insiders, the Patreon boys, the YouTube JSB VIPs, I've posted 3 tickets. If you're an insider on YouTube, just go to members post. You'll have my dog of the week. You'll have my safety net parlay, and I just posted today a plus money double for the fights in the UK. And if you're in the Patreon, you could find those same exact tickets in the Patreon members only section. So there's 3 tickets that are live. Probably, I mean, it's only Thursday. I'm probably gonna over going into the weekend due to all the fights we have, because I haven't posted anything about Japan yet. I haven't posted anything about Pro Box yet. I haven't done a long parlay yet. I haven't done a method of victory yet. And I haven't done a UFC parlay yet. So if there's just 5 more, that'll still give us 8 tickets. Last week I gave you 10. We hit 8 out of 10, 80% on our. In the week before we hit 7 out of 9. So usually I'll give you 9, 8, 9, or 10 tickets. And if you're new to the channel, I feel the longer I've been doing this, I've been obviously in the sport of boxing since I was a boy, since I was 7. So going on almost 40 years in the sport, right? But it's only been since July that I've been live streaming and understanding the online space of other people who do what I do throughout whatever social platform you're on, whether it's Instagram or TikTok, whatever it may be. I I just want everybody to know that every ticket I give you that you see, those are my tickets. So like it's not just like I'm telling you who's winning, and it's not like afterwards you guys either come to me and say, "Hey, we won or we lost." It's like I'm doing this with you. You get to see before the fights my actual ticket. So maybe everybody does that. I'm not sure if everybody does that. I don't care what anyone else does. I just over time I'm learning to be more descriptive and explain in further detail what we actually do here and what we're good at here. And what we're good at is winning. So that being said, the link right there to join our Patreon, to join on YouTube, whichever way you join, it's a couple bucks a month. You get access to our Discord. I do want to give a couple shout outs to the newest Patreon boys. We're just constantly growing. I only started the Patreon the end of December. We're already over 100 members in the Patreon, and the Discord has been around since August, and we're at 420. So I've been doing better and better in thanking and acknowledging the newest members over the last 24 hours in the Patreon. Shout out to Kay. Shout out to Juan. Shout out to Smooth. Shout out to The Real Deal. To get access to the Discord in the Patreon, just message me and I'll send you the link. And to all the newest YouTube insiders, if you guys, and this is over the last 24 hours, Leroy, Anchor, Zan, PWS, Poncho, and Palmer, and Hernandez. If you guys don't have the Discord link on YouTube, just go to members section. You'll see the Discord link posted. Other than that, that's the business side of things. Let's get into this. Guys, we're 4 minutes in, 30 of the boys in here. As you're tapping, and I think the team, everyone's become better and better at this. Just as you're tapping in, I'll answer your questions, whether you're a VIP or not. The VIPs obviously get elevated, just like the video. That's all you have to do for me. I just also want to give you a quick schedule. If you haven't watched my breakdown, prediction, and analysis, the Stats Don't Lie edited videos under the fight prediction playlist, Kenneth Sims Jr. versus Arnold Barboza, I uploaded that yesterday. After this live stream, I'll be uploading John O'Carroll versus Colin Murphy. And so those are the edited, I use my nice camera equipment sort of videos, 10 to 15 minutes. Stay tuned to the channel. As soon as this wraps up, you'll be getting the Stats Don't Lie Colin versus Jono. Other than that, I got the odds up. Um, What's good, MMA better? Shawnee Shine. I can agree with your opinion on qualified sec. Okay, yeah. So look, stra- picking winners when it comes to being successful at winning money, betting on boxing and betting on fights, picking winners, picking the winner is obviously the most important thing. But over time, if you want to be consistent, it's not the only thing. You have to also have your own strategy and understand what your bankroll is. You can if you guys are out there week in and week out wagering the same amount every single bet or chasing a loss, that's not responsible. And I wouldn't recommend that. If you're out there sending messages that you lost rent or you can't pay bills, I don't want you here. No offense. I don't if you watch any of my uploads, my Stats Don't Lie videos, and every one of my Stats Don't Lie videos, I post on the channel the gambling hotline. If you're not having fun at this, if this isn't entertainment, if you're, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're going to be able to buy the mansion of your dreams by gambling. This could be a side hustle, though. Look at the boys. Go check the Discord. I mean, there are boys in our Discord who this is all they do. And those are the rare one percenters. Like anything, though, in any industry, in any genre, you will have your outliers. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called Outliers. He talks about this in anything, whether it's hockey, whether it's being a published author, whether it's being a weatherman. You will have the top 1%, the outliers. We have that in our group. Other than that, you don't have to be a top 1% outlier to make money consistently. You have to have your own strategy, you have to have a bankroll, and you have to know when or when not to pull the trigger. I said all of that to talk about this comment. We have these fights in the UK. These are the Colin Murphy versus John O'Carroll fight. John O'Carroll's a 14-year pro. You know, he turned over in 2012. Handful of losses, been in there with a lot of good guys. He's fighting a kid at 26, started boxing in his mid-teens, who just won the Commonwealth strap in January. This to me, this is still a domestic level fight. So I'm not betting $1,000 on this fight. I'm betting a half unit on these fights. This is my strategy. I'll tell you who I'm taking, but if you're sitting back and you're on every single fight and you're at a stage where, you know, you're working just to pay bills, don't be reckless about the game. You know, if you're past that stage, you know, we got guys on all trajectories of life. We got guys like myself in my mid 40s who have a career, who've worked through their 20s, who understand the mistakes through trial and error of life, who have a system to consistently win. And then we have guys in their early 20s who I used to be, who are freaking savages and reckless, who are gambling all their money every week, and, you know, losing, giving it back, or you're winning and then you're betting on arm wrestling. So my point is, have some strategies, ask some questions, and if you're in the Discord, lean on some of the guys in there that you see winning consistently and ask questions. Okay? Okay? Are we good? We're good. I'll get to that in a second. I'm going to do a second live. I've been doing lives twice a day all week. The second live stream will be focusing on the UFC. Done a risky parlay, Barboza points. I like Arnold on points. Kakachi, Fandora, Pierce, Najee. Bro, I like these picks. I have Fandora on her own ticket. I did a safety net parlay. So I have Kakachi on one ticket. I have Gabby on one ticket. And then on a separate ticket, I parlayed Pierce O'Leary with a few other fighters. What do you think about Najee? Do you think Gallegos can cause it? I think Gallegos is what Gallegos does well when he does box well is he fights in spurts. He kind of uses his energy. I saw it in the first Khalil Ko fight. He's kind of a downhill fighter. If things aren't going Gallegos' way, he's not in a fight. Everything has to be working for him. You know what I'm saying? Will he be able to bully and push Najee Lopez back and get momentum early on from the opening bell? I don't think so. Don't forget to like the video. Sean, thank you for helping me out. We got Mike Tyler in the house coming off a Keeping that O intact, professional fighter. Mike Tyler taking fights on short notice. That's what you got to do, big dog. At this stage of the game, if big promotions aren't giving you an eye, if Matchroom's not calling yet, which they, you got to just keep that, stay ready, stay professional, always have that hand up. What do you think of this parlay? I like Princess O'Leary versus Hughes over. Look, man, if you have, and this is an example of strategy, Mike asking me this parlay with him just putting O'Leary and Hughes in the over tells me that he's comfortable and he's won in the past taking over unders. Traditionally, I'm not an over under guy, but I do have Pierce O'Leary winning that fight if that helps you in any way. I do like Colin Murphy over John O'Carroll on the money line, and I do have Colin Murphy on points. Anthony Kakachi versus Dickens over 5. Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's look, when we're thinking about betting our money, guys, the more bets within the bet that we choose, the more riskier. The less, you know, but then it's an odds play, it's a value play. So this is why it's called gambling. This is why this is why we do what we do. But hopefully I answered your question. Nice organic growth. Yeah, man, that's what we've been doing, man. Not everybody is going. Yeah, nice organic. And this is how we've always done, guys. I've never paid for an ad. I've never bought bots. I've never bought a follower. I've never done any of that. Everything we do here is community based, organic based. Um, Leroy, yes sir. We got the newbies in the house. The JSB insiders. Let's go. Retro in the house. I got Murphy. Decision O'Leary. Yeah, yeah. So guys, full transparency. The UK card for me, half unit. Half unit. I do. I'm not going full unit on. Right now, my biggest bet in terms of my bankroll going into the weekend is Barboza Jr. on the money line. Other than that, so far of the tickets I've put, they're all half unit. You know what I'm saying? Because what I like doing is that, and the longer you're here, you're able to tell. I like winning. And if that means that my risk factor of how much I'm betting is cut in half, even at the behest of I could be winning double. But if my risk factor in my wager I cut in half because I'm betting half, then that allows me to think a little bit differently. You know what I mean? And this is something that people don't speak about a lot. But think about the last 5 weeks of our tickets. Think about the winning streak we're on. Those are strategies that I've spoken about on live streams that I've done differently, and the proof is in the pudding. So sometimes I feel if we're going heavy on a bet, we might miss something very important in what we're either seeing or we're not seeing in who we're taking. You know what I'm saying? So I feel in my past when I've gone heavy, it doesn't always go your way, man. It's weird how that works out. So why not go half unit and win 3 tickets, and those 3 tickets add up to the same if you would have won one heavy ticket, but you won those 3, and if you would have lost that one heavy ticket, you're bummed out. So it really kind of that's my outlook. That's my strategy. I'm not in a rush. I'm not doing I'm not chasing anything. I'm not trying to pay a bill collector. This is my passion. The sport of boxing, coaching, teaching, educating, and winning. Nobody likes losing. You know what I mean? Peace, Johnny. Do you think Kakachi gets a knockout? That is a risky one. Let's see. That's a risky one because he's coming off of an injury. So it's really like what Kakachi. It's already risky in my opinion. I think Kakachi is the better fighter. I don't care how old he is. I think he's going to handle Jazza Dickens. I never really rated Albert Badargaziev. I feel like the Badargaziev victory for Jazza, great for Jazza, right? Is it that good of a victory? You guys, that's up to you guys. I don't think it's that great of a victory in hindsight. At the time, he was really, this is the best part of our sport, man. People get found out, dude. People get found out. Yanis Tejas. Remember Yanis Tejas? Wasn't that the Abbas Barral fight? People get found out, dude. It's the best part of our sport. So I want to just see Kakashi get the W. Will he stop Jazz? I mean, Jazz, guys, has 5 losses all by stoppage. Wow, these odds are crashing. I think I got Kakachi 3 days ago at, what did we get him at? Didn't we get him at $1.50? Let me check my odds. Yeah, I got him at $1.48. He's down. It dropped almost 10 cents in the big scheme of things. Statistically speaking, can Kakachi stop Jazza Dickens? He doesn't have the most knockouts, Kakachi, but everything. If you listen to, like, you could find sparring partners talk about his power on YouTube. You could find former opponents talk about his power. I guess he does hit hard, and look how close it is. So the odds, the bookies are like, it's a toss up as well. Jazz's chin has been known to just get touched, and he goes. And Kakachi's style, if this is the same Anto that we're used to, a mix of that volume and pressure, the size is a big thing. I don't mind that bet. I'm a cowboy. I'm a cowboy, boy. I like that bet, baby. Let's go. Scare money don't make money. I know you don't do these bets. What's your opinion on Colossal going? I like the under in that. And Rudy, maybe it's my own. Sometimes I have to. I tell you guys this every day when we talk about this. I have to try on a fight by fight basis to limit the fan in me, because I'm human. I like certain fighters, but what did my dad always say? Bet with your wallet, not with your heart. So sometimes I could be a victim of my own favoritism. I'm a big fan of Oscar Caiazzo. I think Caiazzo has the skill and the. I think Caiazzo has the skill and the artillery to go in there and stop anybody early. I could see him getting it done early, 100%. Murphy decision, O'Leary decision. Murphy decision, O'Leary decision, Kakachi decision. Wow. All on points. I could see, I like Colum on points. Man, I think I could see Pierce O'Leary. Give me a second. That This is another cowboy bet. I was actually thinking about playing Pierce by stoppage. I just think, there's a size gap there. There's an energy gap there. There's a green gap. There's certain things, there's a few of these matchups. Maxey versus Pierce is akin to Jono versus Colum in terms of the veteran, the guy who's been in there for a while, the guy with the more rounds, more experience, against the guy who's quote unquote next up, the undefeated guy, the Commonwealth title guy. That's why I love British boxing, man. It's kind of like who's up next, who's up next. And they're in the crowds, these little intimate little arenas, the energy of the fighters. You could find value in any fight. I like this ticket. 50 to 1's insane, bro. Why not sprinkle? And this goes against where I'm putting my money, but Kenny Sims could win this fight. It's a close fight for he's the favorite. Let's not get it twisted, guys. Kenneth Sims Jr. is the favorite on the odds here. Barboza Jr. is the dog. So one of the reasons that I came to take in Barboza was the other things that happen outside of the ring. You got two guys in the ring, and we talked about how they match up. Kenny's an inch taller. Barboza has a 3-inch reach advantage. We know they're both coming off losses. But when you peel that onion a little bit deeper and look at the other factors, things that happen outside of the ring, like Sims had his homecoming in his last fight. He had a card built around him in Chicago. He was the featured guy. This was supposed to be a reminder and a coming out party about who Sims Jr. was, and he fell a little bit short against Oscar Duarte in Chicago. And now this card in California, in Anaheim, Southern California, I told you yesterday on the live, I was ringside to watch Pavlik fights Max Zertuche in 2007. It's in Disneyland, the Anaheim, where the Anaheim Ducks play hockey. This is where this fight's at. Barboza Jr. was born in Long Beach, California. He's a Southern California kid. This is his homecoming. And he's the A side, Golden Boy card. I think all that, the crowd is probably going to be at least 90% ABJ. Um, the activity, I think sometimes Sims Jr. gets a little bit too comfortable on his back foot. He kind of, could be outworked a bit. I thought he faded a bit. And then we have to mention he struggles with he has a disease, man. And it should be mentioned in a sport like boxing that is a weaponized cardio sport. I think that Barboza Jr.'s pressure, pace, willingness to fight him in the pocket, in the wheelhouse. I don't think Sims Jr. has enough power to make Barboza go from a plan A to plan B. And I like Barboza Jr. I think him at plus money is actually a steal. I'm kind of shocked that he's not the favorite. I thought he'd be the favorite and Sims would be the dog. And if it was flip-flopped, I would still take Barboza Jr. Bet at your own risk, Jojo Diaz. I mean, at this stage of the game, this isn't 22-year-old Jojo. This is 32-year-old who is probably more like a 42-year-old, considering we know it's been well documented his lifestyle choices. But as of late, he's claimed that he's turned his life around. Alexis Rocha, do you rate him? Do you think he could crack? If so, Jojo Diaz, former world champion, how's his durability? He's the one who wobbled Regis in his last fight multiple times. And even though he got a lot, he lost. And what's Jojo's record of his last 10 fights? What, seven losses? Something crazy. Is Jojo ready to go, or is he motivated, Mosby? That's what you're gonna have to ask yourself. He looked motivated against Regis. Things didn't go his way, but I gotta be honest with you. He performed better than I thought he would. Yeah, so he's 33 now. He's 33 for Jojo, 34-8. Yeah, look at so his record since 2021, since that Devin Haney loss, he's fought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will be his 10th fight since Devin Haney, since the Devin Haney loss, and he's won 2 fights. He's 2-7-1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 2-8-1. Yeah, so his track record, there's a lot to be desired. The Roca draw against Curiel had left a bad taste in people's mouth. The knockout against Gio Santillan, though, and then this is the same kid who Gio stopped him, and then Gio went on to get stopped against Brian Norman Jr. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I don't have props yet. I'll have a look at it. Hoover Dam, I couldn't find it on Sportsbook. Hoover Dam in the house. I see 3 potential. This is a great look, Rob. I haven't mentioned it yet, but I think John O'Carroll versus Colin Murphy is going to be a super, super close fight, and I could see a draw there. I think Barboza Jr., Sims Jr., worth sprinkling. I don't think you're wrong there. I think we're going to see a draw. It just depends on where your book's at. Barium Boxing. Barium. Great name. Gabby's opponent's 5'2", 43 years old. She's always fighting. Gabby by knockout, dude. Let's just go Gabby by knockout. And she punches down. I'm out of the stoppage. My man, Kakashi stoppage. Barium. I like it. So I do have a method of victory parlay coming for you guys. I have to wait till my book opens up those options. Guys, could you like this video? We're 20 minutes in. We're floating between 60 and 80 in the live stream. Hit a like. Hit it. I hate asking. Maybe it's because I grew up. Yeah. I had a really bad inferiority complex growing up as a kid. Tim Bradley thinks the Barboza Sims fight going to be. Is Tim paying your bills? Tell Tim Bradley to transfer the JSB Insider some money, and then we'll put it on his bet. Yeah, look, man, Jojo, he slips a punch and he gets cut. He's tough as nails, though. What's up, Ryan Hall? Jojo's tough as nails. I agree, brother. Connor Ben getting stopped. You think Connor's getting stopped against Regis? I don't know the durability left in Regis. And you mix that with Connor Ben's volume, in pressure, in just ferocity. People could say what they want about Conor Benn, but unless you've ever trained for a fight or sparred 10 3-minute rounds, um, to watch him fight and have that gas tank, it's admirable. Like the kid is in immaculate shape. He's always prepared, and whatever he's got. Yeah, he popped before, but I mean, you still got. I think the struggles Regis had against JoJo, I think Connor runs right through Regis. I do. What price did you get Barboza at? I got him on the money line at plus 150. Crazy, right? Plus 150 to me is insane, boys. Yeah, so he's at plus 175 now. Here you go. I smashed him on Tuesday at plus 150, which is wild. And those odds are crashing. UK fights not coming up on my sports book. Be patient. Wherever you guys are in the world, be patient, guys. Um, I'm not gonna put out my long parlay until probably late tomorrow night. And I'm getting certain fights, but I'm not getting odds on certain fights. There's some pro box fights we haven't even spoken about. Um, Dante Benjamin's fighting Cleveland, Ohio. You guys know I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio. So whenever there's Northeast Ohio fighters, I always keep an eye on them. We Dante Benjamin just came off of a fight against Money Pal in which I'm pretty sure they drew. Did we call that draw or he wanted to sit? We called him on points. We called him on points. It could have been a draw. Money Pal's always in these close fights, but Dante Benjamin's in a tough fight. So I'm waiting for odds to drop on that. He's going up against a real veteran, I think with like 30 pro fights, maybe some Delgado Aguiar. So his name's slipping my mind. But then you got I like pro box fight cards. I like betting on the pro box fight cards. Maybe I'm just a nerd. Alexis will be setting up eight. Yeah, guys, Alexis, this is a tough match. I mean, shout out to JoJo. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a tough. He goes. He hasn't. He's won 2 fights in 6 years. Has so much damage, and he still wants to do it. It's the hardest sport in the world. So you got to tip your cap, man. You got to show revelry. You got to show respect, guys. I want to mention something. I didn't plan on speaking about it, but we might as well talk about it. The Discord, right? Our JSB insider Johnny says boxing. It's a betting academy. Our Discord, there's over 420 VIPs in there. Men who pay to be in an exclusive group. It doesn't happen a lot, but it happened this morning. If you're never going to hear, I expect you guys to act like gentlemen in there. It's not a Reddit thread. This isn't a comment section on Twitter. So calling people, derogatory terms, racist terms, threatening will get you kicked out of the group without any question. Just don't do that. This is the precedence we set here. If you can't act like a gentleman, if you can't talk like a gentleman, our group is not for you. You're never going to hear me call fighters or call a fellow JSB insider any derogatory comment. It's not how I was raised. It's called having character. So have a little bit of character. If you don't, our group is not for you. We're here to cheer our favorite sport in the world, analyze it, research it, our community, and then win. Other than that, leave all that other stuff and Reddit. Don't come to our front door with that BS. Aussie Pugilist, the swindler. Another great week. Do you know any bookies that accept Aussie bets? Do you know any bookies that accept Aussie bets as Australian bookies can't accept bets? What? Bro, South Australia doesn't have betting? I had no idea. That's insane. So is Adelaide South Australia? So if you live in Adelaide, you can't bet? I did not know that. I'll ask around though. Maybe we put that Aussie, put that in our Discord. Copy and paste that question in our Discord. The Discord is like an oracle. Somebody will have an answer for you. What's up, Skeezy? I'm bummed out by Frank Sanchez being injured. Yeah, the knee issue. Me too. I like that fight. Oh, and Barium Boxing, newest JSB insider. Barium, it's about time you jumped on board, big dog. Get the link to the Discord in the members only section on my YouTube channel right now. Click the link and you're in, baby. Let me know if you have any questions. Mike from Melbourne, sup, Johnny? It's not until April with Troy Williamson versus Zach and Huber. Troy Williamson coming off that big win against Callum Simpson, so I got to watch tape on Zach and Huber. Good eye though, Mike. Good eye. We got a lot of sharps in the group. Why is Barboza the dog with the better record? Is it sportsbook mind games? I MOU 187. This is what I always say. Why do we wear the swindler hat? Because the bookies get it wrong. We can't expect bookies to be as tuned in as we are in boxing. You know what I mean? We see this every. I mean, if you ask me, we could find a fight. Why was Julian Rodriguez a plus 450 against Kane Sandoval? We could say what you know what I mean. I understand the dog. I understand why Figgy was a dog against Nick. I understand why Josh was a dog against Murtazayev. But you know, every week we could find. Look at the. We hit two dogs on the Zuffa. The Zuffa card really doesn't count right now because no one really knows a lot of the domestic level guys fighting. But we see it week in and week out, and it is good that you're having an eye that you know, I think one of the strategies in boxing betting, which you could win a lot of money, is having an eye for that sort of thing. Every month, 1 to 2 big dogs go to Zuffa. Hitchens or Shakur will be. Yeah, but there's hesitation right now with the Zuffa move. There's hesitation in terms of I just read an article about Hitchens being hesitant. He doesn't want to get stripped by the IBF. Who knows what's going to happen? Do you think Oscar Kayas is going to? I do. I like Kaito by stoppage. Let's see if we could get any props. Probably not going to get any props on this. Caden Griffith. I like Caden in that fight. There's a lot of wild odds. And $1.22 is insane. $1.22 is such a wild. Mario, what's up, big dog? Long Beach, long time no speak. I knew Mario when Mario was 11, 12 years old. He's probably 30 now. Insane. I moved to Long Beach in 2005 when I was 23. I'll be 44 in April, Mario. Ha! My guy. No combat bets. It's all bullshit. They will take all the pensioners' houses off them. That is effing insane, man. So you're telling me in Southern Australia they could bet on everything, the pokies, they could bet on bullshit, but you can't bet on combat sports? That sounds mafioso if you ask me. Jukes Jr. I got back to you in the Discord, by the way. You asked me about what Joe Stunner Boxing thought about Colin Murphy and John O'Carroll. He gave me, and I had already come to terms with who I was taking. I had already liked Colin Murphy. And in the Discord, I posted the message reply. Joe Stunner says he likes Colin Murphy on points. Did you hear that Sanchez Torres fight is postponed? Yeah. Sanchez has inflammation in his knee from a current knee surgery. I was taking Kiki Torres in that fight. I'm a fan of Richard Torres. And Frank Sanchez, yeah, it kind of adds up in terms of the length, how old he really might be, all that good stuff. Is he, what combat sports athlete though goes into any fight 100% healthy? You gotta understand a lot of these guys are battling injuries just to show up on fight night. They'll never talk about it. But I'm pretty sure didn't Sanchez have his knee wrapped in his last fight? I think he's been going through knee issues for a while now. They say he's 33. He might be 43. But then once the knees go, it's pretty tough. Ranvar, what are your thoughts on Dominic Valle? Look, I like Dominic Valle. I like the grit he brings to the table. I like his determination he brings to the table. This is a step up, though. We haven't seen Dominic Valle paired up with a guy in a 2-1 fight on Pro Box. I don't think yet. Usually, Dominic Valle's odds would be 5-1, 6-1. I was looking at these this morning. So usually when I see Dominic fight on Pro Box, without hesitation, I smash it. But I got to slow my roll. Eduardo Ramirez, I mean, Eduardo Ramirez has been in there tough. I think these odds, I think this is a 50-50 fight. I do. I think this is a 50-50 fight. I'm not saying I'm taking Ramirez yet, but I know we covered him on the channel his last few fights. If you guys follow my channel, you would know who Eduardo Ramirez is. 29-5, 14 knockouts. Jose, he lost to Magsayo. He got stopped against Pitbull Cruz in the second round 4 years ago now. Stopped Maldonado, lost to Magsayo, lost to Cardosa. That was a pro box card, the Jonathan Cardosa fight, I'm pretty sure. Coming off the win against Jose Nunez Lopez. Got a bit of power to him. So yeah, I have to do a little bit more research on that one. I do like Valle though. I think the dogs are live this weekend. They're always live. The dogs will be barking somewhere, boys. Guys, we're 37 minutes in. We're floating between 70 and 90 in this live. I'll give you guys a reminder every 15 minutes. Let's like this video. After this live show, breakdown analysis and prediction of Colin Murphy versus John O'Carroll on the fight prediction playlist. And then in a few more hours, I'll be going live again. And that's where I'll be opening up the odds for the UFC this weekend. Because I'm going to give you 2 UFC tickets. I'm going to give you my method of victory play of the week. We hit it 2 weeks in a row. Last week was RoboCop by knockout, which we smashed at plus 225. And then this week, I'm going to give you another one, plus probably a 2-leg, maybe a 3-leg. So stay tuned. We got a lot of work to do. I'm bringing you guys a lot of content. You know how we do. Hope Torres can get a tune-up in the meantime. That kind of hurts his career. Having a name, this was that step up. Hurts his career. It slows his trajectory. But it's what I tell. It's what I tell my clients. It's what I tell my students. You can only control what's controllable. There's no reason to harp. This is with anything in life. There's no reason to stress. There's no reason to worry about things that are out of your control, especially if you're putting the energy, effort, and work into something. Sometimes things happen. So understanding an athlete, a former Olympian, a prize fighter like Kiki Torres, I'm sure that his mindset on this is probably a positive one, probably similar. You just have to keep a positive mindset with anything, no matter if your family's going through something, if somebody's sick, if somebody's ill, if you're sick, there's always two sides to every coin. It might be your first instinct to think that something is negative or it's a bad thing, but it's just as easy to flip that coin and find the positive in that. And I feel that's always the right thing to do. That's how I do it. Sup, Johnny? Amanda Lemos, the dog of the week, the UFC. I'll have a look. I was looking at the odds, Ziggy. You know I got my eyes open. We'll get into that in a few hours though. Top dog, did you answer my question? What was your question? Top dog. What's up, Alphonse? Full unit on Pierce. Go for it. What do you see in her? Amanda Lemos, veteran, world level experience, pedigree, resume. What's my biggest ticket win? 28,000 on $100 ticket back in 2016 college football. That's when I won 28,000 on $100, but that's what I was crazy. Eduardo, I think it was a 18-leg parlay too. Eduardo Ramirez, all money line. I remember exactly what week it was. It was the last leg was Ohio State versus Penn State, and the Buckeyes were playing horrible, and they ended up winning 20-19. It was the last leg. They were like $1.10. Eduardo Ramirez was probably at his best about 4 to 6 years ago, but damn, this could be one of those experience beats talents fights. Yeah, it's an interesting matchup. On boxing, I meant, but that's crazy. What's my biggest? I don't know, man. I win a lot, and I do this for statistics. Like, so it's not like, if anything, what holds me back is sometimes, like anybody who wins consistently, I should have bet more. I should have bet more. My goals aren't money though. You know what I'm saying? So we all in life, my goals in my life have never been built around objects. I don't. That's why I'm like anybody who tells you you're going to get rich off of gambling, they're conning you. Don't follow con. Like you're not going to get rich off of gambling. Nobody gets rich off of gambling. You become an addict. We don't. I don't want people coming here with the addict mindset. This is an entertainment. This is a love of the game. This is research based. This is conversation based. This is community based. So the last thing I ever want you guys doing is betting because you're chasing. I did not like I lived in Vegas for 2 years. I have to tell this story more often than not. My roommate, who was like a brother to me, I watched his whole life. He ruined his whole life due to gambling. He was addicted to card game. He was addicted to blackjack, sitting at a blackjack table. He would get paid on a Saturday. I would work Saturday afternoons. He would get paid on a Saturday. And this was in 2011 to 2013. You could take your paycheck and go to a casino and cash it. Sounds crazy, right? So he would get paid. He worked at the Wynn Casino. He would get his paycheck and go to the New Orleans Casino on Paradise on Flamingo and cash it. And then I'm working the afternoon shift on a Saturday, and I'm working from like 11 a.m. till probably 4 p.m. And by the time I get off at 4 p.m., this is every week. He would get paid weekly. He would be broke. This is no bullshit. So he would get paid 11 a.m. I'd be at work. I'd get off at work at 4 p.m. He would be in the lobby waiting for me. He would be dead broke every single week. He would eat because if if you worked at the Wynn Hotel, they give you a hotel card, and the whole underneath bottom of the Wynn Casino in Vegas is like a whole city, and there's restaurants. And if you work there, whether you're a street guy passing out nightclub flyers, or you are working the door of the nightclub, or you're working a bartender, you get a card, and the card gets you free food. So in his head, he had all of his food sorted, and his parents paid his rent, and he would gamble all of his money away, and he turned into a liar, a cheat, a thief. I don't even speak to him anymore. So gambling addiction is real, mate. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. Biatch. Yeah, I answered you. I get you, bro. I see with you consistent wins. I'm definitely gonna join soon and put a side pot. See where we are here. That is a plan of attack. See, something like that I could get down with. Having a strategy, having a plan of attack, having a methodology. Don't just say, "Hey, I got paid. I have $1,000, Johnny. Could you turn it into 4,000?" I'm like, don't talk to me. That's not my job. I don't know you. Like you come at me with $1,000 and you're asking me to. What am I, a magician? You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta hold yourself accountable. But you could then say, "Hey Johnny, I got 1,000 on this fight, and I see it going this way. How do you see it?" Then I can help you. And I do that a lot behind the scenes. A lot of you guys don't know. I help a lot of people on Instagram, in our Discord. I have like on any given day, I have like 20 to 30 messages I have to get to. Yeah, you my favorite, Toya. So I like Kayatsu by stoppage. I started watching live streams last year. I remember letting the videos play while I was ready for the B&Bs on vacation. When the owner or future guests at this spots in Brazil. You're in Brazil? Man, some of them. Are you Brazilian? There's a large group of Brazilian young people who live in Sydney. And when I was crazy, I'd go dancing all the time. Dude, the most beautiful women. The most beautiful women are all over there's beautiful women everywhere. But for me, some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in real life are Brazilian. Nigeria and Ethiopia, review the YouTube searches. They're going to see your channel. Nice, man. Nice. I appreciate you guys. I think the stoppage is early. I think the stoppage is early. I like somebody brought it up earlier, 1 through 6. I could with Koyatsu's style, his explosivity. I always talk about if Koyatsu fought at 122 pounds, he'd be a household name. You know what I'm saying? And I think over time, with more promotions, with guys like Bam at 115, guys like Junto who cut his teeth at 18, anyway at 22, why not make 112? Well, it only makes sense that with more opportunities to fight with an exciting fight style like Kayatsu has, Puerto Rico, man, dude, Puerto Rico has another one. Everybody talks about Xander, but dude, Kayatsu's that dude as well. I'm in New York, but I travel a lot. I spend a lot of time in Brazil. Nice, man. I always wanted to go to Africa. My junior year of college, I was doing, I was getting my undergrad in psychology, and I had to take an elective called cultural anthropology. And the entire assignment for the semester was to go to a zoo. So I was going to Cal State Fullerton. So I went to the LA Zoo and I had to study a primate in its exhibit. So I studied a Western lowland gorilla named Evelyn. And in 2005, she was 36 years old. She was the first gorilla born in captivity in the United States. So she would have been older than me at the time because in 2004, 2005, I was only in my mid 20s. She was in her mid 30s. And so for like the whole semester, I had to go to the LA Zoo, have my notes, and it was called a natural observational study. And so I just had to sit there and document how she moved, her mannerisms, how she would gather her food, mate. It to this day, I think about Evelyn. She passed away years ago, but I always wanted to go to the Congo to see the Western lowland gorilla in its natural habitat. But every time I think of Africa or hear Africa, I think of that. What do you think about Dominic Valle? I like Dominic Valle. I like his energy. I like his aggression. I like his uh, determination. You know what I mean? Like the type of determination you only see in a young fighter who's hungry to prove something to himself and to prove something to his family. He has that. He's going. This is his toughest test. I like the step up. I like what Pro Box is doing with him. I like how they're moving him. But this is a close fight. You know, we look at Dominic Valle, his fight weeks. He's usually 5 to 6 to 1 favorite. He's only a 2 to 1 favorite here. Kenya, dude, I'm open. I've traveled the entire world. I just haven't been to East Africa. What's up, Jukes? What are your pound for pound top three? Ooh, put me on the spot. Pound for pound top three currently. So we're gonna say Bud's retired, so Bud doesn't count. It's dude. There's gonna be a lot of turnover. I mean, because people are gonna say the B Vols, they're gonna say the Usyks, but I don't. I'm gonna do a I like Shakur Stevenson's in my top three. He's been in my. I've been talking about Shakur for years. I like how Shakur operates. I'm a technician of the sport. I always say boxing is a thinking man's game. So I put Shakur there. I put Naoya Inoue there in my top three. I just love until he's giving fight fans his whole life. I know that sounds crazy, but and you couldn't see two more contrasted styles way of fighting, but the two guys I just said, and this kind of makes sense of how the love I have for the sport. I love a technician, I love a counterboxer, I love a thinker, but I fucking love a brawler. I love a fucking guy who will stand and get knocked down and come right back up and go punch for punch with you. Naoya Inoue, every fight gives everything of him to the fans. Is it sometimes the smartest way to operate? No. Is it a way to become a living legend? Yes. I mean, think about the Neri knockdown and then what he did. Think about the Ramon Cardenas knockdown and what he did. So anyway, because of that sort of thing, Shakur because of that sort of thing. And this is me you guys are putting me on the spot. And you're gonna be, you didn't say this guy. You didn't say this guy. I mean, he's grown. The next guy I'm going to tell you, he's grown on me. If you had asked me this last year, he might not have even been in my top 10. But watching him go from 68, watching him maneuver the weight gain from 68 to 74, watching him still operate the same with his brave style, I got to put David Benavidez up there, boy. I do. I do, man. Just as of late, too. That people are like Anthony Yard. Dude, Anthony Yard's a tough dude, man. And, I just think that I actually think Benavidez is getting better. I thought he would have been a guy who's kind of leveled out a bit, reached his peak in his mid. To me, he looks like he's adding levels to his game, and he's super confident, and his style is electric. I would take Benavidez over Apataya. You guys might hang me on that one. So right now, without thinking, I'm sure I've missed some people here. You guys put me on the spot. Inoue, Shakur, Benny. how much how much How much pushback am I going to get on that? I'm excited to see his younger. Oh, Kenyon's on the card too. They have a whole fighting family. Okay, so I wasn't that far. Retro says Usyk and Inoue Shakur. I think that, yeah, I like the over, Al. I like the over on Kenny and Barboza. I like the fight to go the distance. Whatever guy you like, whether it's Kenny or ABJ, I like whatever fighter you like to win on points. Obviously, I'm taking Barboza on the money line, and I'm probably going to do a sneaky. We hit a plus 2,200 last weekend, boys. I gave that to you. So that had me thinking maybe I should do a long end. Maybe I'll figure. It added a little bit more interest seeing this massive odds parlay. Depending where my parlay didn't win because in Australia the draw screwed me. It was the only loss I had all weekend. Montreal, we went 100 for 100. Zuffa, we went 100 for 100 if you're not in Australia. But we had dog, 50-50, and the odds were like plus 2,200. So I'm thinking of doing something similar. If you take Barbosa on points, a couple other things, it'll be a fun little quarter unit parlay. Usyk recently revealed his plans. Would you rather have Dubois trilogy or Fury trilogy? Probably Fury. Probably Fury. He's such a sideshow. Tyson Fury reminds me of a guy like he would have probably been a guy in the late 1800s with those traveling circuses. I just see he's like a throwback. I look at Tyson Fury, and if you strip away the house, the money, the legacy, the resume, you could put him into any generation. He'd be like a car, like a snake oil salesman. He'd be like a bare knuckle fighter. He'd be like a announcer somewhere, dude. Like he's just entertainment, man. Devin, top 3 to 5. Yeah, the adjustment I've made is I'm gonna stop underestimating Haney. At least I admit I'm not a Haney hater. It's just he's a tough one for me to have a read on, you know, because I was never sold early days Dev. I mean, all of the physicality things I was sold on, but being around the like every time I bet against him, I lose. He just proves me wrong. So I can't argue your list there. Omar Bradley in the house. What's up, brother? What's up, brother? We're on a little bit of a streak. Guys, we're approaching an hour. We're still floating between 70 and 90 in this live. You guys have another Statstone live video coming right after this. My prediction of Colin Murphy versus John O'Carroll. Then I'll be going live again at my 1 p.m., which is in 4 hours. So stay tuned. We're going to be talking a little bit more in the second live stream about the UFC card because we have a lot of fights to talk about. Also, hopefully by this afternoon, I'll have odds for the Japanese card. There's Japanese fights. Nonito Donaire is fighting. There's some really good fights. This Sims fight is a pick 'em. I agree. I definitely agree. I told you on that 2,200, my boy Johnny fucking goaded. If you're not in the Discord, you're missing out on big money. Appreciate you. Bradbury, man, I got to give a shout out to you as well. I noticed from the time you entered, you took a leadership role and you got active. So I appreciate your insights in the Discord. I appreciate your feedback to everybody and you always being proactive about keeping it super professional. That's what we're doing in our Discord. It's a professional betting community. We're an academy. There's a lot of like-minded people in there who know their stuff. Omar Bradbury is one of them. And I pay attention to everything. With the group constantly growing, I get notified when people join. Very rarely somebody enters the Discord. I'm talking about you've been notified, has entered the Discord, and within seconds they post. So as soon as Omar entered, he entered and posted, introduced himself, and was like, who do you like here? Boom, boom, boom. And from that point on, the dude's been a gun. That's what we like to see, man. Genuine 50-50. Usyk don't want no smoke with Caballero. Wardley will shock the world again. Late to the party. What's up, Dave? Yeah, so I'm actually uploading my Stats Don't Live video of this fight. It's my second feature. Watch the ABJ Kenny Sims breakdown on the fight prediction playlist, and then you're gonna get my fight prediction on here. Broken it down, watched all the tape. I'm going with the young kid here, man. New media troll. I notice you bet against black fighters often. Making boxing. This comment is hilarious, and you have troll in your name. And I know that you don't hang around here very often, but that sentiment comes from somewhere, and that sentiment is exactly what I wanted to not do and be the antithesis of in building our community. And I feel we've done that because he's obviously wrong here because he would know that Errol Spence Jr. was my favorite fighter. Pernell Whitaker was my favorite fighter. James Toney, Bud Crawford. He would also know that I picked Duarte or I picked Sims to beat Duarte and I lost that fight. And having to defend this sort of thing is tiresome. But new media troll, you take your time out to troll. You keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully you find peace. It's all love, babe. Appreciate you too, brother. Bury him. Did you see Daniel? Yeah. Ooh, no. He called out Yenli. Yo-Yo's fighting. Yo-Yo, they keep him active, boy. And we won on the Cedeno. Dude, that's a fight. He called. Not many people calling Yo-Yo out. I like the bazooka, but he better chill. El Diablo. Oh, Yenli, El Diablo would really hurt that kid. He better chill. God, I didn't see you call him out. Guys, I'm gonna lock it up. I got a lot of work to do to bring to you boys. Stay tuned. Listen to Omar Bradbury Retro. It's definitely worth it. We cashed 24 tickets this past month. Guys, and if you're not following me on Instagram, go to Johnny Stofko on Instagram. Say, hey, it's me from YouTube. I post, you'll be able to see what he's talking about. We keep a list of our receipts up there. And I don't just give you my winning tickets. You guys get all my tickets before the fights happen. Is everyone else doing that? Hopefully they are doing that. If you're following any other group, you should it just creates transparency, and I've learned from you guys. I never used to do that. I used to just give you my picks, and then you guys ask, hey man, I want to see the tickets. And then since then, shit's been popping off. Appreciate you.